So anyway, Sunday night football. This game was flexed in the Browns at the Giants. This line opened up 4. It's still 4. It just opened recently. So who do you like in this game?
Well, thank God we don't have to watch the 49ers and Cowboys in prime time. So I'm a little bit torn on this one. Like, I think the Browns being favored by 4 is a little bit much. But I also don't want to bet Daniel Jones because he didn't look healthy last week. And when he's not healthy, he still makes constant negative plays and turns the ball over. At least he has this year. So I'm going to be on the Browns here. I think Myles Garrett's going to pressure Daniel Jones, force him into some mistakes. And Baker Mayfield's playing really well right now. I think he's going up against a solid defense. So this will be a good test for him to see if he can continue to play well. But as Andrew mentioned, there's also the possibility of down because they just, played their hearts out against the Ravens and were beat on a last-second field goal. So there's a possibility for numerous things happening in this game. So I'm not going to bet it. I'm leaning on the Browns here. I don't know. I wrote that if this line goes up to 4 or 5, I may flop back to the Giants. I am very torn on this one. So I will let you take it from here and see if you can change my mind.
I feel like I have the same sentiment about this game that you do. I kind of like the Browns, but not really. My biggest thing about this game is Daniel Jones's hamstring injury. If he were healthy, I think I'd be on the Giants, just because the letdown factor. Plus the Browns, do they deserve to be favored by 4 on the road against a competent team? I really don't think so. We just saw them play a thriller against the Ravens. But this is a team that just barely beat the Eagles a few weeks ago. They lost to the Raiders before that. I think the Browns are overrated right now. If they still had Odell Beckham and their cornerbacks, then I would think differently. But they're down their top 2 cornerbacks, and the Giants have good receivers. So if Daniel Jones were healthy, he could connect with them, and then the Giants would be able to keep this game close, maybe win it outright. But if Jones is bothered by this hamstring and he's committing more turnovers than usual, I just feel like the Browns might be able to score the defensive touchdown and kind of put this game away. Even if they're flat, I think that's a big thing too. They could just be deflated from losing the game to the Ravens. I'm going to be looking at the practice reports. If Daniel Jones is practicing fully and there's no concern with this hamstring anymore, then I'll consider going with the Giants. But if Jones is Jones is either missing practice or is limited, then I'm probably going to stick with the Browns.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. If Jones is full as of Wednesday, I'll probably switch sides and be a lot more confident. Now, I have to ask you this question that's kind of off topic, but who do you think wins Coach of the Year at this point? I bring this up because Kevin Stefanski has been a name that's come up a lot, but we haven't seen a non-division winner win Coach of the Year in quite a while. I think it's been at least 10 years.
I think Stefanski is definitely a candidate. I don't think he's going to do it though. If he beat the Ravens, I think he would get it. But losing to Baltimore twice, I would say no. So right now, I would say maybe a 2. I'm leaning toward either Sean McDermott with the Bills because the Bills winning the division against the Patriots is a huge deal. Also Matt LaFleur for the Packers. So I think I'm leaning toward LaFleur. If they get the number 1 seed, I think LaFleur. But McDermott, I think, deserves consideration too. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I was thinking Matt LaFleur was my number 1 guy because if they get the number 1 seed, then it just makes sense because he has changed things around there. And we see how bad McCarthy's doing in Dallas. And you just look at the last 2 years under LaFleur and, it's obviously rewarded for 1 year, but sometimes they do look back at other bodies of work. So I would go with LaFleur right now. And I think this isn't going to happen, but if the Dolphins had somehow won the NFC or AFC East, it absolutely would have been Brian Flores, and he's probably going to get one at some point in the future. But he was another name I'm keeping an eye on. But I think the wild card teams won't quite get it because they'll have just the whole too many losses part of the argument.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Flores has done a great job for the Dolphins for sure. And like Andrew said, Tomlin fell off. Tomlin was the leading candidate, and not so much anymore.